Hello everyone, so on this video we are going to look at some core exercises, but before we get started we need to warm up as always. So we're going to take our top down approach. We're going to start in our neutral position. Neutral position means we've got our feet hip width apart, hips square, shoulders square, looking straight ahead. This is our neutral position, and we're going to start with some neck turns. Here we are. That's it. No matter what you're going to do, no matter what exercises you're going to do, you always need to warm up. This is what we call damage prevention. This is your insurance policy against hopefully not getting injured. And we want to think about doing, these are what we call mobility stretches. 4, 3, 2, 1, let's tilt. So these are called mobility stretches, or otherwise known as dynamic stretches, which means that we're stretching and we're moving the limbs. And what this does, it warms up the limbs, it warms up the joints, it warms up the tissues, and gets the body ready for work, and that's what we need to do. So you want to think about doing probably about 10 of each. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Here we go now. Let's look up and down. Up and down. Here we go. Up and down. There we go. I like to use this, what I call my top-down approach. Start with the head and just move down towards my toes. Here we go. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay, let's pull those shoulders forward. And let's pull them back. There we go. Let's pull them forward. Boom. And let's pull them back. Pull them forward. And back. There we go. And I'm also getting my fingers, my hands involved. So I'm making fists and I'm opening out. There we go. Forward and back. Alright, here we go now. Let's shrug. Call this one my lightning bolt. So let's make a nice big shrug. Make a double fist. And then pull down and let it out. There we go. Shrug. Make a fist. Lightning bolt, so let it out. So up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, and down. There we go. Alright. Alright, let's do some twists. Oh, there we go. Look over the shoulders. There we go. Lovely on the back, spine. There we go. Looking over the shoulders. Lovely. So no matter what you're doing, whether you're going to do some stretching or you're going to do some other forms of exercise, always need to warm up. 3, 2, 1. This is actually the most important part of what you do. So here we are now. Let's roll those shoulders, roll them back. There we go. That's it. I want to spend a good 5 to 10 minutes warming up. A minimum, absolute minimum of 5 minutes, closer to 10. Really just getting those joints nice and warm, because this is how you're going to prevent injury. So let's bend at the knees, shall we? And let's just reach down. Here we go. Let's push down to the mat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. There we go. Let's lean back. I'm going to cross my arms over my shoulders. Let's lean back. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Now legs locked out. Here we go. And let's reach in. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. This time, hands on my head. This is a little bit more challenging. Pull those elbows back and lean back into it. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Here we go. So, I'm going to do some squats. Got my feet probably a little bit wider than hip width apart. Toes slightly turned out. This one's what I call my level 1 squat. So we're not bending a lot. I'm going to try to keep those knees centered over your feet. And we want to think about sitting down, not a big sit, just a little sit. There we go. Back nice and straight. There we go. That's it. Warming up those legs. A little bit lower. Level 2 squat, a little bit lower. There we go. That's it. Breathing out on the way down. There we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Alright, so first thing we want to look at for our core is it's our brace and clench. So we're going to start in our neutral position, so feet hip width apart. When we talk about brace and clench, what exactly does that mean? If someone were going to hit you in the tummy, what would you do? You would brace those abs. That's bracing the abs. And then clench, you want to squeeze those glute muscles together. Those are the muscles that we use when we're going to the bathroom. So if we want to squeeze those glute muscles together, what that does, it engages those deep core muscles. When we talk about our deep core muscles, we're talking about the diaphragm on the top. That's your breathing muscle. We're talking about your lower abdominal muscles. When you brace, you're engaging those lower abdominal muscles, those deep core muscles, pelvic floor muscles, and there's also a thick muscle that runs up and down your spine called the multifidus. This is what encloses your inner core. Every time you move an arm or you move a leg, those deep core muscles engage automatically. You don't even have to do anything about it. I've just moved my arm, my core muscles have engaged. They are there, they're working 24/7. So, let's look at that brace and clench now. So we want to brace those abs, okay? Some we're going to hit you in the tummy, that's braced abs. And we want to squeeze those glute muscles together. And what that does, it tilts your pelvis back, what we call that posterior pelvic tilt. So as I brace and clench, my pelvis gets tilted backwards, okay? So here we go. 1, 2, 3. You should be doing, you can do these literally all day. Think about doing these when you're at home, sitting in the chair, standing, walking, in the car, anywhere, anytime. We should be thinking about getting as many of these in as we can. This is a fundamental exercise for working your deep inner core muscles, the brace and clench. So let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and hold that for 10. And you should be able to have a conversation while you're doing that. So you're bracing and clenching, you're holding, so you're bracing, you're clenching, and you're breathing. You're having a conversation while you're doing what you're doing. You can do this all day long. So let's just hold that brace and clench. Fundamental exercise for the core. Okay, so let's look at an exercise that we can look at just to make sure we know that we are engaging the core. So what I'm going to do is I've got my right knee underneath my right hip. and I have my left heel underneath my left knee. And if I brace and clench, I should feel this right in the front of my thigh. So as I'm bracing and clenching, what I'm doing here is I'm engaging this quad muscle, and I should feel the stretch in this quad muscle, okay, as I'm bracing and clenching. If you're not feeling it, it doesn't mean specifically you're not doing it right, but this is a good indicator that you are ticking the box. 2 and 1. As you brace and clench, you should feel it. And if I switch around, so now left knee underneath my left hip, right ankle underneath my right knee. As I'm bracing and clenching now, every time I brace and clench and I tilt that pelvis back, I'm stretching out this front thigh or this quad muscle. So let's go. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Just a little way to check to see, am I truly engaging those deep core muscles? So let's take it down to the mat now. We're going to lay it out, and what we want to think about doing, so we're going to do thighs, knee, we're going to do feet hip width apart, why not? So feet hip width apart. What I want to think about doing now is bracing and clenching, and as I brace and clench, what I want to try to do is close that distance so that there's no gap between my lower back and the mat. So as you brace and clench, hopefully what we're doing is we're pinning that lower back to the mat. So from here, we can do our brace and clench again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and hold that brace and clench again. We're pinning that lower back to the mat. So keep that lower back pinned to the mat. Going to bring my thighs, knees, and ankles together. Now I'm going to bring my knees into my chest as close as I can. Keep that lower back pinned to the mat. Here we are. Let's go again. Brace and clench. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. So from here now, I call this on my soles to the ceiling. Here we are, soles to the ceiling. That's it. Thighs, knees, and ankles together. That's it. Think about pinning that lower back to the mat. Brace, clench, keep that lower back pinned to the mat. Great for working the core. Just hold that. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1, and relax. Challenging, very challenging. I can feel that through my tummy, I can feel that in my legs. There we are. So, another one, what we're going to think about doing is, I'm going to brace and I've got my thighs, knees, and ankles together. I'm going to brace, clench. I want to pin that lower back to the mat. I'm going to bring my right knee into my chest. There we are. And I want to think about raising that leg as high as I can, so sole to the ceiling. Now from here, I'm going to hold that brace and clench, and I'm going to lower that leg nice and slow. There we are. Whole time, I want to try to keep that lower back pinned to the mat the whole time. If you feel your lower back starting to come up, stop wherever that is and hold it there. So it's about coming down nice and slow. There we go. And then back up again. Let's go again. Brace, clench, pin that lower back, and let's come down for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and if you can, hold it right there. You want to try to hold it at a hover. So brace clench. Keep that heel hovered, and it's about trying to keep that lower back to the mat. And what you might be finding is that lower back wants to come up, and if it does, then hold it wherever that is. I'm just looking at it from this side now. Here we are. So we're going to brace clench, thighs, knees, ankles together. By keeping the thighs, knees, ankles together, what I'm doing is I'm helping to stabilize my core and my hips. So here we are now. Brace clench, pin that lower back to the mat. I'm going to bend that left knee, bring it into my chest. There we go. Bring that leg straight up. There we go. I'm going to drop it down nice and slow. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And let's just, can we hold it there? If you're able to hold it, that's good. It's about trying to keep that lower back pinned to the mat and come back up again. There we are. If you want to make it a little bit less challenging, you can bend your knee and you can come down nice and slowly as well. 4, 3, 2, and 1. And then you want to hover that heel, try to keep that lower back pinned to the mat. So once again, bring it back up. Brace clench, pin that lower back, and let's come down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You want to think about, if you can you hover that heel? Keep that lower back. It's about trying to keep that lower back pinned to the mat. That's what we're trying to do. Hold it there for 3, 2, and 1, and relax. So with that routine, what you're thinking about doing, you want to do it on, as you saw, I did a couple on each leg, but you know, do probably maybe 3 or 4 on each leg. All of these exercises, you know, you don't have to do them all at the same time. You can do a few one day, do a few another day, however you want to break it up. So if we want to make that a little bit more challenging now, we're going to brace clench. So here we are, pin that lower back. We're going to go for 2 legs, a lot more challenging. Why don't we start with bent knees? This is our start position. Brace clench. We can either do, this is what we call plantar flex, when we point the toes away, or dorsiflex when the toes are straight up. Let's do the toes straight up. Brace clench, and now let's come down, bring those heels down towards the mat. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Very challenging. It's about trying to keep that lower back pinned to the mat. If you can, hold it for 4, 3, 2, 1, and come back up for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So once again, what are we trying to do? We're trying to keep that lower back pinned to the mat the whole time. If you feel your lower back starting to arch, stop it wherever that is. When we got those legs bent, it's a little bit less challenging. The straighter the legs, the more challenging. Let's do another bent knee one again. So thighs, knees, ankles together. Brace clench, pin that lower back. Start position. We're going to do dorsiflex, brace clench, pin that lower back, and let's come down nice and slow. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Can we hold it for 4, 3, 2, 1, and come up again for 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Try to keep that lower back pinned the whole time. Want to make it a lot more challenging. We're going to do it from soles to the ceiling. Brace clench, pin that lower back, and let's come on down. Here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2. Really feeling that. This is so challenging. Hold it there for 4, 3, 2, 1, and come up for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. My tummy is absolutely screaming when I'm doing that. You could also do it with a one leg as well. So here we are, soles to the ceiling, brace clench. I'm going to keep my right foot sole to the ceiling. I'm going to drop the left for 5, 4, 3, brace clench the whole time, 2 and 1. Can we hold it for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and come up for 5, 4, 3, 2 and 1. Absolutely feel that in my tummy. So if you want to make it a little less challenging, soles to the ceiling with my left foot. This time I'm going to bend the left knee and bring the left knee down. Sorry, I'm going to bend my right knee and bring my right knee down slowly. 3, 2, 1. Hold it there for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and bring it up for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. There we go. My tummy's absolutely screaming doing those. Whole drill is to try to keep those lower abs pinned to the mat the whole time. So find the variation that works for you. Take your time with it, but it's about keeping that lower back pinned to the mat. That's what we want to accomplish. So let's look at our bridge now. So we're going to do thighs, knees, ankles together. We're going to brace clench, pin that lower back, and now let's raise those hips as high as we can. Hold that. And while we're here, if you can see me, what I want to think about doing from here, I want to think about pulling my hips towards the ceiling. Let's go up. 1, and brace clench as we're doing it. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Hold it up there. Hold that brace clench for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And just come down nice and slow. There we go. Pull those knees into your chest. Another absolutely great core exercise. And when we talk about the core, what exactly are the core muscles? The core muscles are all the muscles that tie into your spine. So not only are we talking about our abdominals in the front, our obliques on the side, the muscles that run down our back. We're also talking about the muscles in our hips, these hip flexors. We're also talking about the gluteus or the bum muscles. We're also talking about some of these big back muscles that tie into the shoulder. Everything that ties into the spine, from the shoulder girdle to the pelvic girdle, includes the core muscles. So when we talk about core stability, it's about the ability to maintain spinal alignment, shoulder and hip girdle position whilst moving our arms and our legs. And as I mentioned earlier on, every time you move an arm, you move a leg, those deep core muscles automatically engage without you even having to do anything. That's their role in life, that's their function in life, is to stabilize your spine. Okay, so now let's look at our cat-cow. This is another fundamental exercise for the core. So I'm going to do feet, knees hip width apart. So what we want to think about doing now, I'm going to do toes pointing down into the mat. So as I brace and clench, what's happening is I'm sucking my belly button in, I'm rounding out my upper back, and my bum is getting pulled in as well. So this is my cat position, brace clench, bum in, belly button in. The opposite of this is what we call the cow position. So now we're going to belly button out and bum out. And you can see what I'm doing now. There's a big dip in my lower back. And what I'm thinking about doing is squeezing my shoulder blades together. So you're thinking about pulling your belly button down towards the mat. Bum is sticking out. And I'm squeezing my shoulder blades together. So now this is what we call the anterior pelvic tilt. So now the posterior pelvic tilt, which is bum in, belly button in, round out the upper back. This is our cat position. You can hold this, brace, clench and hold. Don't forget to breathe. So it's bum in, belly button in. The opposite is going to be bum out, belly button out, and squeeze those shoulder blades together. So I've got my hands centered underneath my shoulders, got my knees centered underneath my hips. Now my pelvis is tilted anteriorly or to the front. So bum out, belly button out. This is our cow position, up into the cat. Bum in, belly button in, brace, clench, round out that upper back. There we are. Don't forget to breathe. Bum out, belly button out. Squeeze those shoulder blades together. Fundamental core exercise. Here we go. That's it. Let's come in, bum in, belly button in, brace, clench, round out that back. Bum out, belly button out, and squeeze those shoulders together. Here we go. So once again, when we're doing these, we can do these for repetitions if we like, or we could just stay and hold the position for a period of time. Minimum of about 30 seconds. Here we are. One more. Bum in, belly button in, brace, clench, round out that back. That's it. Bum out, belly button out, squeeze those shoulder blades together. That's it. Pelvis tilted forward. There we go. Alright. The last one we're going to look at is the plank. Yes, the plank. But I'm going to give you a few options here. Okay, so the first option we're going to look at with our plank. So, here we are. Got my hands centered underneath my shoulders. I want to open out those fingers like I'm grabbing 2 handfuls of sand. I'm going to do thighs, knees, ankles together. Helps to stabilize the core and the hips. And what I want to think about doing from here is I just want to walk my knees back, and then I want to drop my hips so I've got a nice straight line with my neck, my back, my bum and my thighs. So this is our half plank position. There we are. Brace, clench, hold that position, toes pointing down into the mat. There we go. Try this from another position so hopefully you can see me from every direction. Here we go. So here we are now. Hands centered underneath my shoulders. So I want to walk myself back a little bit. Here we go. Then I want to drop my hips. I want to try to keep a nice straight line with my neck, back, bum and thighs. Got my feet together. This is my half plank together, half plank position, and I'm bracing and clenching. Here we are. Hold that. 4, 3, 2, 1, and stretch it back. There we are. So that's our half a plank. So, we want to try to make it a little bit more challenging. So here we are now. I'm in my half plank position. I could straighten out one leg. There we go. That's it. Do my left leg first, hold that. So as I'm trying to keep a nice straight line with my back, bum, and that left leg. There we go. And let's do my other leg, let's do the right. Here we are. So half plank position, thighs, knees, ankles together. Straighten out that right leg, hold that. Here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. So we're just looking at progressions. Start out with a half a plank. If you're finding you can do that, then you can go to straightening out one leg, and then now we're going to try for a full plank. So start position, hands underneath the shoulders, open out those fingers, helps us stabilize and spread the weight. And we're looking for hands underneath the shoulders, thighs, knees, ankles together. Brace, clench, engage that core, toes pointing down to the mat. And can we go for a plank? If you can, fine. Let's hold this. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Very, very, very challenging. You know, if you can't hold it for 10 seconds, it's absolutely fine. If you can hold it for 1 second, that's absolutely fine. But what you want to do is work on increments. So start with your half a plank, brace, clench, hold that. If you're feeling, well, okay, I want to step it up a little bit, you can straighten out one leg, and you could try to straighten out the other leg, and can you hold the plank? And just hold it for whatever period of time that you can. 1 second is absolutely fine, and just keep practicing with it. Now that is what we call a high plank or a straight arm plank. We're going to look at a low plank now, because different people respond to exercises differently, and some people find the low plank easier. So let's just see how we get on with the low plank. So once again, what we're thinking about doing is elbows underneath the shoulders, shoulder width apart. We want to make a double fist. What this does is it helps us once again stabilize the shoulders, thighs, knees, ankles together. Got my toes pointing into the mat, and I'm doing a half a plank. So hold this, brace, clench, and don't forget to breathe. I could straighten out my left. There we go. I could switch, I could straighten out my right. And then if we like, we can go for a full low plank, both together. Let's hold this. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So we're bracing and clenching the whole time, not forgetting to breathe. So that is our low plank. So let's just look at those two again. Very challenging exercises these are. So take your time with them, look at the progressions, and work your way towards them. So if we're going to do our high plank, here we are. Hands underneath the shoulders, thighs, knees, ankles together, toes pointing down into the mat. So I'm going to do a half a plank first. There we are, brace, clench. I could straighten out one leg, then straighten out the other one, and just hold it for whatever period of time that you can, if you can. 1 second is absolutely fine. Brace, clench, and don't forget to breathe. Then we want to look at the low plank. Elbows centered under the shoulders, forearms shoulder width apart. Make a fist, which is helping to stabilize our shoulders. Thighs, knees, ankles together. Once again, I could do a half a plank. Straight line with our neck, shoulders, bum and back. I could straighten out one leg, straighten out the other leg, and then we could brace, clench. Don't forget to breathe. Hold this for whatever period of time. 1 second is absolutely perfect. It's whatever you can do, is whatever you can do. Brace, clench. Don't forget to breathe. And just keep at it. You can never stretch too much. So, you know, you can stretch 7 days a week. I mean, we should be stretching daily. You know, when we get out of bed, the first thing we want to do is we need to wake that body up. That's what we call about doing those dynamic stretches, which is what we did at the beginning of the class, which were the muscles, which were what we were trying to do is help for damage prevention. Those are our dynamic or our mobility stretches. And then when you've finished your stretch routine, or when you've finished working out, now we just want to think about stretching out and getting those muscles back to where they were before. So what we're thinking about doing now is stretching and holding for around 10 seconds a piece. This is a great one for stretching out the lower back. That's it. So muscles, let's just come up a second. Muscles work in groups, they work in pairs, they work in opposites. So for example, if you're having a problem with your lower back, which so many people do, then you need to strengthen these tummy muscles. Because if we just use this as an example, as I'm coming down to touch my toes, I am stretching out the muscles in my back and I'm flexing the muscles in my tummy. And the opposite of that would be, as I start to lean back, now I'm flexing, shortening the muscles in my back, predominantly my lower back, and I'm stretching out those tummy muscles. So key is muscles work in groups, they work in pairs, they work in opposites. So if you're having a problem with your back, you also need to strengthen these tummy muscles, which is all part of the core. So here we are, one final one now. So let's just reach up nice and tall. There we go, thighs, knees, ankles together. Let's just lean back into it. This is a challenging one. So I'm stretching out the tummy, all those abdominals, and I'm flexing those back muscles. There we go. 4, 3, 2, 1. And then now let's reach in, touch those toes. That's it. There we go. Hold that. There we go. 3, 2, 1. And then now let's go for a nice deep squat. Call this one the sumo squat. We're nice and warm now, so we've got those feet a little bit wet, probably about shoulder width apart. Just want to think about sitting down into it. Wherever you can get to is wherever you can get to. Once again, we can brace and clench down here, shoulders back. Hold this. This is a very challenging move. I'm working all through the hips, through the bum, legs are getting worked. Once again, this is a great one. This is a great one for building core strength. So hold it there. And we're going to come up nice and slow. 4, 3, 2, and 1. There we are. Hopefully some of these exercises helped you. Don't have to do them all in one day. I've got lots of exercises. I've got lots more of exercises. I have over 500 exercises in my online platform. If any of you are interested, you can always contact me. But thank you so very much, and hopefully these deep core muscles got some work. I know I felt it in my core today, and hopefully you got some help with this. And as always, comments, feedback, always let me know what you think about what we do in our classes. Thank you.